Hi everyone, welcome to our week one summary. So I just want to go over a few things. First, we'll go over kind of what this Edpuzzle summary is, then also talk a little bit about our discussion, and then most of our class time here will be spent on the review of the quiz. But so first, these Edpuzzle summaries, you got to try out the Edpuzzle in the APA presentation that we did in the first week. So that kind of gave you an intro to what the technology is, but we'll be doing one of these each week. That APA intro only had one question, but usually the Edpuzzle summaries will have 2 or 3 questions in them, and you do need to answer the questions in order to get credit for the summary. And really, what it is just to kind of give you a review of the prior week. So, what types of things did we go over? And most importantly, it goes over the quiz. So, what things did you get wrong on the quiz? And I will ask you at the end, did you go over the items that you got wrong in the quiz? So, make sure that you go back and take a look at any things that you got wrong on the quiz. If you didn't get anything wrong on the quiz, great, then you don't have anything to go over. But if you got items wrong on your quiz, please make sure that you go back and review those and check out in the text where you may have gotten items wrong. So that's our Edpuzzles. And so you'll notice that like this week it's called the week one Edpuzzle, obviously because we're in week two. So it's always going to be dated a week behind because we're reviewing the prior week. Discussion boards, great job in the discussion boards. This week, we had some interesting discussion about kind of some careers out of that video that we had watched. So, different careers that are available. And I think kind of the takeaway, also some exposure to some new terms for everybody. So, a lot of new terminology. And believe me, especially if I know not all of the students in our course are health service administration majors, but whether you're a health service administration major, a health service administration minor, or if you're just taking this course as an elective, hopefully this course will really give you some more exposure to some of those terms. And then if you are staying within our program, either as a major or minor, or if you take other classes in our program, you'll get a lot of exposure to some of those terms like the PCMH, the Patient Centered Medical Home, or an ACO, Accountable Care Organization. These are all real buzzwords now in our industry, and we spend a lot of time learning about those things and talking about them. So you'll get more and more exposure to those kinds of things. Um, Also important with regard to the discussion is the timing. So our initial discussion boards are due on Wednesdays. So week starts on Monday, and then initial post in the discussion board is due by Wednesday night, midnight, 11:59. So, and that is RMU time, so Eastern time. If you are a student, I think most of our students are local to the Pittsburgh or the Western Pennsylvania area, or at least East Coast folks. But if you are not on the East Coast or if you are traveling, it is still due on RMU time. So make sure that you're aware of that. 11:59 Wednesday nights. Then our additional posts, you need to do 2 additional posts. They need to be the absolute, last time they can be posted is Sunday of the week, 11:59 p.m. But you do need to post 2 different posts to classmates throughout the week. And they need to be on all of your posts need to be on 3 different days. So you can't post on Wednesday, then come back in and post 2 more on Sunday and get full credit. You need to post on 3 different days during the week. And the rubric is highly encouraging you to get your posts up by Friday. I'm probably a little more lenient than some of our other faculty because I do realize that a lot of you work during the week or are involved in other things during the week, and I do allow you to do some posting on the weekend, but please do make sure that you get your posts spread out throughout the week, and you do have to have posts on 3 different days in order to get full credit. Quiz. So let's talk a little bit about our quiz. Generally, students did really well on the quiz, but I did want to go over 4 different questions that students did miss. So the first one was, in the U.S., federally qualified health centers are funded to, and generally the answers went two different ways. The correct answer was serve as a safety net for those who are having difficulty getting needed primary care. So that was the correct answer. But the other one people chose sometimes was meet all healthcare needs of the uninsured. And I can see where people may choose that, and just because, okay, it's meeting healthcare needs of those that are uninsured, and that is certainly something that a federally qualified healthcare center would do, but they don't meet all of their healthcare needs. Federally qualified health centers, or what are often called FQHCs, are primary care centers. So that's the type of care that they're going to provide at that level. So be sure that you're it's not meant to be a trick question, but I guess it kind of was a trick question in the sense that C, which was the answer, which specifically mentioned primary care, was a much better answer. FQHCs can't provide all care, they can only provide primary care. The second question is reimbursement is associated with which of the quad functions? So I'm going to bring up this little chart here. This chart's in your book, I believe. So this chart shows those quad functions: financing, delivery, payment, and insurance. So all of the quad functions, you would think, oh well, reimbursement's involved in all of those, but it really isn't. Um, so financing um, is about financing overall, not necessarily um, payment for a service. Insurance is obviously about the insurance side of the business. Delivery and the functions that insurers do. Delivery is obviously the delivery side, so physicians, hospitals, nursing homes, as it states there. Payment, so the work that that the insurers, what comes out of the work that the insurers do is the payment quad, and so that is where reimbursement is associated. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit further here into this, and it talks a little bit about, if we go down here, so it talks about how the payment function deals with that reimbursement to providers. So that's our answer, obviously, in this case, is reimbursement is associated with which of the quad functions. Well, our answer is going to be payment, because the payment, let's scroll back up, our payment function is where that reimbursement lies. We are making payment out of the insurance sector to the delivery sector for those services that were rendered. And ultimately, the financing piece is what's fueling that payment. So they're all connected, hence all these arrows that go around. But the payment sector is our answer. Payment is what is associated with that reimbursement function. Okay, next question. The ownership of Canada's healthcare system is best described as private, public, a combination of private and public, or none of the above. So the answer is a combination of private and public. And Canada's healthcare system, it's interesting because a lot of people are, crying out that our system should be like their system, etc. Canada's healthcare system it is known as a single payer system, meaning that it's actually like a Medicare system, single payer across the board for most medical services, but they're paid through a private payer. So it operates much like our Medicare system does, in that the physicians are paid through a private payer. They're not employed by the state. And so it is a combination of private and public. Plus, there are actually kind of supplementary insurances that many Canadian citizens have to cover things like dental, optometry, all sorts of things that are not covered under their insurance. So it is very much a combination of private and public. It is not a complete socialist system, as some countries do have. So it is that combination of private and public um, in the Canadian healthcare system. Last question. The primary functions of managed care include all of the following except. So our answers, our possible answers were improving quality, achieving efficiencies, setting prices at which providers are paid, and controlling patients' utilization of services. So, uh, interestingly enough, the and one would think that improving quality would be part of the functions of managed care, but in a traditional managed care function, they are not interested in improving quality. The primary functions of managed care are to make things more efficient, to make the price right, to set prices, and to control utilization of services. And that's really where it's at. It's about making things more efficient, keeping costs down, but control utilization. And so those are the primary functions of managed care. So improving quality, not one of those functions. So our correct answer in this case was A, improving quality, because that's not part of managed care. Now there are um, newer systems where improving quality is part of the overall system, but it's not a traditional managed care system. These are some of our newer, like accountable care organizations, that we will be talking about and learning about. But managed care, as is discussed in our textbook, is not part of that equation. So those are our quiz questions for this week. If you have any questions on any of the other ones that maybe you have missed, you can't find information in the text, please just let me know. I am happy to help you resolve that question. And I'll be seeing everyone in the discussion boards this week. Have a great week.